I'm Joe Daniel Williams. I was a student here in 97 till 2002 and now I'm a teacher. I wanted to become a teacher because some of the greatest inspirations and role models in my life came from those professions, and I still remember in the back of my mind today these people that had changed my life just through teaching me and inspiring me, and I thought I want to be like that. And it's a great reward when kids, whisper through the corridors like he's top, he's cool, and it's nice to get that, and it's nice to see them producing great work in something that you're passionate about. It's great to teach a subject that you're really experienced in and you really enjoy, because it makes the job so fulfilling. I've loved education since I was involved in it, and studying in Liverpool University and Bournemouth University and UCLan, I really kind of got into the whole philosophy of teaching and learning and the literature behind it, the stories behind it, and I loved working with young people. I loved the feeling that I got out of people doing well in projects, in work. A lot that I learned from people in Liverpool and Bournemouth was the independence and becoming an independent person, and doing things for myself, and obviously moving from learning to teaching. I still found that I was constantly teaching myself new things and new experiences. When I left Penketh as a very young adolescent teenager, I went on to Priestley and did my A-levels, and all the strategies I'd learned and the way that I'd been taught at Penketh helped me adapt into college life, and then that evolved into university. And I think the basics and the fundamentals of teaching and learning came from Penketh, that this is where I grew up, this is where I started, and went on to obviously A-levels, to a degree, to a master's degree and a PGCE, and throughout them years lots of industry experience, and the foundations came from Penketh. So yeah, definitely I think I learnt an awful lot, and Penketh had a massive say in me choosing this profession and where I am today. I've had some unbelievable role models throughout my life. I'm 25 now. They started when I was here as a student. I really looked up to the teachers that I had here, and then went on to college and universities. And again, I had brilliant role models who inspired me in certain fields of work and in certain fields of industry. And I felt like I was starting to become someone, and I started training my mind and my brain into a way of looking at life and a philosophy of living, and gaining knowledge and experience in particular subjects. I studied at Liverpool University for 4 years in media studies, where I learned how to make films, I learned how to study the media, literature and philosophy. After my degree and my master's degree, I did a PGCE, mainly because I wasn't doing it at the time, and I was used to always having work to do and having stuff to do every day, early in the morning, right through. I loved, producing work, writing, reading, getting things in, meeting deadlines. It made me feel independent. It made me feel like I had a purpose. When I was studying teaching and learning during my PGCE, I learned an awful lot about the social sciences of managing behaviour, the philosophy of learning and education, and I became quite obsessed with training myself in academia, and really interested in how I could progress myself. And I really started to enjoy the experiences on my PGCE of teaching other people. And I think it was when I was at university that I realised that I wanted to work in education and eventually become a university lecturer. I guess I really had some great relationships with my university lecturers and teachers at college, teachers at high school, and it's been something I've always known really since I left Penketh. And obviously, as I say, I've always trained myself to keep doing things independently, academically, and I think the profession of teaching, it gives you that buzz and gives you that kind of that drive of working as an independent and producing stuff and reaping the rewards, I guess. And the greatest thing is seeing the kids progress. I finished my PGCE in July 2011. I started applying for jobs and posts all over the country. I must have applied for about 100 positions, and eventually, just before September began, I got asked to come and work at Penketh, the school that I studied at, and it was an overwhelming, satisfying feeling. That I was so excited about the job, a little nervous, but as soon as I got back in these walls, I realised that, you know, I felt straight at home, I guess, when I got here, and that's not to say that you can't feel at home at a new place, because in an organisation, in an institution, you have to create your role, as a lot of the theory says it when you're studying a PGCE or you study an educational course. So you become a part of an organisation. I've been here from September till the end of December now, 2011. And it's been fantastic. I can't explain the experiences I've had in my professional development. You learn an awful lot from a placement, not just the PGCE, but going straight into a position after a PGCE is so fulfilling. And obviously keeping your professional development continued by doing this and your experiences is vitally important in the profession, I guess. I've become very much more comfortable with the job as well, and I can walk into a classroom now in front of 20 students and feel straight at home and not, you know, be nervous about that situation. I can be observed by anyone and not feel like it's intimidating. It's now part of the job, and it's kind of, you like people being there for the feedback and for the constructive advice, and it's all part of the profession, and you learn all these experiences from being in a placement and obviously getting the experience in. If I was to give you some advice on the profession of becoming a teacher, I think one of the key things is organisation, and obviously and happiness as well, and being happy in your job, and producing work and being consistent. Staying organised, as I said, vitally important. Keeping everything documented, recorded, getting the best out of your students. And one key thing I've learned from this placement is assessment, and the importance of assessment in everything else. So planning. And other aspects of the job. It helps you think about different ways, different strategies in your classroom. It helps you think about all kinds of different parts of the job that you learn during your PGCE. I'd also say read as much as you can. Read as much theory, as much literature and science behind the profession of teaching. It's really important, and it helped me massively. Think about the way you word your lesson plans, and think about observations. Set your targets higher. Always try and produce more. If your hours that you have to produce is 100, then do 150. Put in as much effort as you can, and I'm sure you'll thoroughly enjoy it.